What happens when one of Hollywood's biggest icons sits down for what should have been a routine morning chat, only to be met with such blatant disrespect that he does the unthinkable, walks off live television in front of millions? In less than 40 seconds, a simple interview spiraled into a moment that would forever stain Michael Strahan's reputation. That morning, Samuel L. Jackson arrived at the Good Morning America studio, expecting an ordinary press stop. He was there to discuss his new film, share some laughs, and engage with the fans who had followed his career for decades. But what awaited him was something completely different. The segment began innocently enough. Samuel settled into the familiar yellow couch, surrounded by the hosts. Michael Strahan sat across from him, with Robin Roberts to his left and George Stephanopoulos on the far end. The cameras rolled, the crowd was ready, and everything seemed normal. Michael smiled and started the conversation. "So, Samuel, great to have you with us. Let's get right to it. Your new movie is packed with action, stunts, explosions. At your age, how long can you really keep doing roles like that?" The studio went silent. Robin's smile stiffened. George looked uneasy. Samuel's face changed. The warmth vanished, replaced by a calm, sharp edge. "My age?" he repeated evenly. "I'm not sure what my age has to do with anything, Michael. I'm in better shape than most people half my years." Michael laughed, but it was the kind of nervous, mocking laugh that made everything worse. "Come on, you know what I mean. You're not exactly a spring chicken anymore. Don't you think it's time to pass the torch to younger actors?" Robin quickly jumped in, her tone diplomatic. "Michael, I think what we're really trying to ask is how Samuel maintains his incredible energy and dedication to his work." But Michael wasn't backing down. Leaning forward, he pushed harder. "No, Robin, I'm asking a serious question. Samuel's been in the game for, 40, 50 years? At what point do you look in the mirror and think maybe it's time to retire?" Samuel's jaw tensed. His patience had limits, and that line had just been crossed. "First of all," Samuel said, steady and composed, "I've been acting professionally for over 4 decades, and in that time, I've built a career on skill, persistence, and respect for the craft. Something you might want to learn before you sit in that chair, questioning someone's worth based on their age." The audience gasped. Some murmured. George looked like he wanted to disappear under the desk. But unbelievably, Michael pressed on. "Whoa, whoa, whoa," he said defensively. "I'm just asking questions here. Isn't that what journalists do? Or are you too sensitive to handle an honest conversation?" Robin shook her head, frustrated. "Michael, that's not fair. Samuel's our guest. He deserves respect." "I am respecting him," Michael fired back. "I'm treating him like an adult who can handle tough questions. Maybe that's the issue. Maybe he's used to everyone babying him." That was it. Samuel stood, not in a burst of anger, but with quiet, deliberate control. He unclipped his mic and set it down. "Real talk," he said, his voice low, but cutting through the silence. "You want real talk, Michael? Real journalists don't ambush their guests. Real professionals don't use their platform to belittle people. And real interviewers know the line between being bold and being disrespectful." Michael scoffed. "Oh, here we go. The celebrity can't handle a little pushback, so he storms off. Real mature, Samuel." George intervened sharply. "Michael, stop. Just stop." But it was too late. Samuel placed his microphone on the coffee table. The soft thud echoed through the studio. "You know what's sad?" he said, looking straight at Michael. "I came here excited to talk about my new project, to share something I'm proud of. Instead, I walk into a setup by someone with an agenda. Robin stood up, visibly upset. Samuel, please, on behalf of the show, I'm so sorry. This isn't what we intended. Samuel nodded toward her. I know, Robin, and I respect you, but I won't sit here and be disrespected on national television. I've earned better than that. Michael leaned back, arms crossed. So, you just going to walk off? Prove my point that you can't handle pressure. Samuel turned back, his eyes steady. The only thing I'm proving is that I value myself enough not to waste my time on nonsense. You think this is pressure? I've performed on global stages, worked with the greatest directors alive, and built a legacy that'll outlast both of us. This is just pathetic. The audience began applauding, slowly at first, then louder, until the whole studio erupted. Michael's smug grin vanished. Oh sure, he muttered sarcastically. Clap for the guy who couldn't finish an interview. Makes perfect sense. George's tone snapped. That's enough, Michael. But he kept going. What, I'm the bad guy now because I asked real questions? Because I didn't worship him like everyone else? Samuel was almost at the exit when he paused again. You know your problem, Michael? He said. You mistake being combative for being smart. You think tearing people down makes you powerful? But it only shows everyone exactly who you are. Robin looked crushed. Samuel, please, can we talk about this? Samuel turned to her and George, but ignored Michael. Robin, you've always been class. George, you too. But I can't stay here. I won't. Michael stood abruptly. Fine, leave then. We don't need you. Plenty of actors would love this spot. Then invite them, Samuel replied calmly. Maybe they'll enjoy your brand of hospitality. The control room was in chaos. Producers didn't know whether to cut the feed or keep filming. George tried to regain control. Samuel, we value you being here. Michael was out of line. Can we take a moment and reset? Samuel shook his head. Some things you can't reset. Once respect is gone, it's gone. Michael actually laughed. Oh please, you Hollywood types, you demand respect but never get it. The moment someone treats you like a normal person, you crumble. That was the breaking point. Even Robin snapped. Michael, stop talking. Right now. He refused. Why should I? Because I'm telling the truth? Because I won't play the celebrity game? Samuel reached the exit. Michael's voice carried behind him. That's right. Walk away. You can dish it out in movies, but can't take it in real life. Robin physically stepped in front of Michael. Enough. You're making it worse. The audience was silent, frozen in disbelief. George faced the camera. We're going to take a quick break, he said. But before they could cut away, Michael interjected again. No need for a break. Let's talk about what really happened here. How spoiled celebrities think they can control every conversation. Robin turned on him, her patience gone. Michael, what's wrong with you? Why are you doing this? I'm doing my job, he insisted. I'm asking questions. Isn't that the point of journalism? George replied sharply. There's a difference between tough questions and hostility. You crossed the line. I wasn't hostile, Michael protested. I was honest. From off camera, a producer shouted, We're going to commercial in 5, 4. But the damage was done. Samuel L. Jackson had walked off Good Morning America. One of the biggest stars in Hollywood had been humiliated so deeply, so publicly, that he chose dignity over drama. As the show cut to commercial, Robin and George sat stone-faced. Michael looked defiant, but shaken. When they returned, Robin addressed viewers. Welcome back. As you've seen, we had an unexpected moment earlier. Samuel L. Jackson has left the interview, and we want to address that. George added, "We pride ourselves on respectful, thoughtful conversations. Today, that standard wasn't met, and we apologize. To Samuel and to our viewers." Michael sat silent, jaw tight. The rest of the show dragged painfully. Smiles were forced. The usual cheerful energy was gone, replaced by awkward tension. During the cooking segment, the chef looked terrified. The weather report was shorter than ever. At one point, during another break, Michael stood and left the set without a word. No one stopped him. When he returned, he didn't look at anyone. The final minutes crawled by. Robin closed the broadcast with a strained smile. "Thank you for watching. We'll see you tomorrow." As the cameras went dark, Michael stormed toward his dressing room, ignoring everyone. Robin sighed, turning to George. "What a disaster." "I've never seen anything like it," George replied. The crew moved slowly, whispering about what they'd just witnessed. Samuel standing up, Michael refusing to back down, the entire show unraveling in real time. In his dressing room, Michael paced furiously as his phone buzzed non-stop. He didn't answer. He just muttered about unfairness and thin-skinned actors. Meanwhile, Samuel was already gone. He walked out, got into his car, and left. No statements, no tweets, no explanations, just quiet dignity. Within minutes, clips of the confrontation flooded social media. Hashtags trended worldwide. Some defended Michael's tough journalism, but the overwhelming majority sided with Samuel. They saw arrogance. They saw disrespect. Back at ABC, emergency meetings began. Executives scrambled to contain the PR disaster. Robin sat alone, replaying the moment over and over, wondering if she could have stopped it sooner. George felt the same, knowing one bad interview had shaken the show's credibility. Live TV has no retakes. Every word, every glare, every mistake goes straight to millions. And Michael's mistake had been broadcast in high definition for the world to see. By that evening, Hollywood had spoken. Actors praised Samuel's composure. Journalists condemned Michael's conduct. Analysts dissected every second of the exchange. Most agreed, Samuel never lost control. He stayed calm, professional, and simply walked away when respect was no longer present. That, they said, is the mark of a true professional, knowing when to stand up and when to walk out. In the end, that's what mattered most. Not the fallout, not the headlines, but that brief, unforgettable moment when a routine interview turned into a lesson the entire industry would remember.